I want to make another definition. The correlation coefficient between x and y between x and y or y and x, it is all the same, is defined as rho x comma y is equal to covariance of x comma y divided by sigma x sigma y. Okay. These are the standard deviations, the square root of the variances, or you can take it as covariance of x y by square root of variance x square root of variance y. Okay. So, this is called correlation coefficient between x and y. So, in some sense this is a scaled version of the covariance. Okay. So, it is like saying, so if x and, so this is somewhat scale invariant. So, if x and y, you are measuring x and y in let us say kilograms as opposed to grams, right, you will get different answers for the covariance, but rho x y will be the same, okay, no matter what units you measure x and y in. Okay, it is like a scale free thing. The most important thing about this rho x y, again rho x y can be positive or negative, right. So, these guys are always, the denominator is always always positive, of course assuming all this is not 0, right. This is not defined when the standard deviation is 0, but if the standard deviation is 0, then the variables are themselves, the random variables are themselves constant, right. So, except in that case this is well defined and this is positive, and covariance could be positive or negative, right. So, rho x y could also be positive or negative, it can in fact be 0 also, right. So, the important result about this correlation coefficient is it is a number that lies between minus 1 and 1 always. Okay. So, in that sense it is a scale down, it is a very it is a nice way to represent the covariance, the correlation between x and y, okay, because it is a kind of scale free kind of a thing. Theorem this is Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. For any two random variables x and y, minus 1 is less than or equal to rho x y is less than or equal to 1. Further, so this is saying that the correlation coefficient lies between minus 1 and plus 1 both inclusive. Furthermore, we can in fact say that whenever the correlation coefficient equals plus 1 or correlation coefficient equals minus 1, there is a deterministic relationship between x and y. Okay. Further, if rho x comma y equals 1, then there exists a greater than 0 such that there exists some real number a greater than 0 such that y minus expectation of y equal to a times x minus expectation of x almost surely. And if rho x y equal to minus 1, then there exists a less than 0 such that all that. So, is the theorem clear? So, this is saying that correlation coefficient is between -1 and 1, but whenever it is equal to 1, then y can always be written as some a x plus b for some constants, right. You can think of just this as a x plus some other constant, and similarly if rho is -1, then y is equal to a x plus b where a is negative. So, there is a deterministic relationship between x and y whenever the correlation coefficient is +1 or -1. So, when that is not the case, they will be strictly between 0 and 1. Okay. This is called Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. So, another way of saying that is absolute covariance of x y is less than or equal to sigma x times sigma y, right. Another way of saying the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality is to say that absolute rho x y is less than or equal to 1. In other words, absolute covariance is less than or equal to sigma x times sigma y, right. Proof. So, this Cauchy-Schwarz, it has a very short proof, but you have to know it. Okay, it is a little bit difficult to, I mean you have to know how to proceed with it, because I mean I am just going to copy what I have here. Okay. So, you have to do it comes in 2 steps, but you have to know how to do it. Okay. Let x tilde equal to x minus e x and y tilde. So, it is easier to work with the centered versions of these random variables, right. I am just taking away the mean, so that these guys are 0 in expectation, 0 mean random variables, and all this is a little bit easier, because then you will have y tilde equal to a times x tilde and so on, right. So, with 0 mean random variables, all this is very easy. Let blah 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 y tilde equal to y minus e y. Now, I want to show, consider this. Okay, this is what you have to start with. So, with this definition, expected x tilde squared will be variance of x, and similarly expected x tilde y tilde will be covariance of x y. Okay. So, you consider expectation of this big expression, expectation of x tilde minus expectation of x tilde y tilde over expectation of y tilde squared times y tilde this whole squared. Okay. So, I mean, so this is actually just a constant, this whole thing is just a constant, right, and in fact what is this? So, this is like covariance over sigma y squared, is not it. So, I am just considering this. So, I am essentially considering x tilde minus some constant times y tilde, okay, and I am considering the squared expectation of that. Now, this is certainly non negative. Why? Because what is inside is a non negative random variable. So, this is certainly non negative. Now, it turns out that if you expand this out, you get Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. Okay. So, let us expand this out. Well, let us see. So, this will be like expectation of so does this work out. So, it will give you expectation of x tilde squared so if you do this you will get it. So, okay, so it is a big messy operation. So, you will have this squared times expectation of y tilde squared, right. So, should we just do this quickly, x tilde squared plus expectation of, so this will squared, isn't it, this will square. So, I will get expectation of x tilde y tilde squared over expectation of y tilde squared. I will have expectation of y tilde squared the whole squared, but then that will cancel with expectation of y tilde squared coming from here, right. I am taking x square plus y square minus 2x 2ab if you like, right. So, then I will have a minus 2ab term, that is minus 2x tilde well okay. So, I made a mistake here, right. So, finally I think if I do that, so far I am okay, I think, right. So, then I will put an expectation here minus 2 expectation of x tilde y tilde, right. So, that much times expectation of x tilde y tilde over expectation of y tilde square. Okay. I think this is correct. Any mistakes? Fine. So, I am taking expectation of x tilde square plus expectation of y tilde squared times this whole squared, right. So, that is what this is. So, there you will have one cancellation here minus 2 expectation of x tilde y tilde times that constant, right. So, I have this guy squared now, right. So, this works out to be, I think this works out to be what I want, right. Is this okay? So, I will have so for one thing, one of this will cancel this 2, right. I mean this is exactly the same as this, isn't it, except for the 2. So, I can just get rid of that guy and get rid of the 2. So, I think you will agree with that, okay. So, I think that is all I have, that is all I want, right. So, this is greater than or equal to 0, right, which means I have, bring this to this side, you have expectation of x tilde y tilde squared is less than or equal to expectation of x tilde squared times expectation of y tilde squared, correct. So, this is, so which means the absolute, so if you take square roots, positive square roots on both sides, you get absolute covariance less than or equal to sigma x times sigma y, right, because this is sigma x squared and sigma y squared, right. So, you would have proven the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. Now, how do you prove this bit? Okay, so this greater than or equal to 0 is for this, okay. So, this is greater than or equal to 0, okay. So, now you have, so if you have absolute rho x y equal to 1, then that means that this is met with equality, correct, which means that is met with equality eventually, correct. So, I have the expectation of a squared, this whole thing squared equal to 0, which means x tilde must be equal to some constant times y tilde, which is what we wanted to prove, correct. In fact, you can identify the constant a as that guy, correct, fine. Okay. Is that clear? the second part of the theme. So, essentially we are saying that this random variable inside this squared must be 0 almost surely. So, which means almost surely y tilde x tilde must be a constant times y tilde, end of story, which is what we have, which is what we wanted to prove, right. Or maybe I will have it the other way, right. I will have x tilde equal to constant times y tilde, which is same as saying y tilde is some other constant times x tilde, okay. Are there any questions?
So there is a Cauchy-Schwarz inequality in inner product space and norms. Is it the derivation of that in?
Well, yeah. So I am getting to that. Okay. So the question is, for so you know that if you have let us say vectors in Euclidean space, there is a standard definition of inner product, and right inner product x y between two vectors, and you know that for two vectors in Euclidean space there is this Cauchy-Schwarz inequality which says absolute inner product of x y is less than or equal to square root of norm x times square root of, well, norm x times norm y, right. Yeah, norm x times norm y. So, so this has a very similar flavor to it, right. In particular, what happens is that this covariance of x y plays the role of a inner product, okay, and this in some sense the sigma x and sigma y are playing the role of the norm, okay, right, except these x and y's are not vectors in R and they are random variables, correct. So, this covariance satisfies all the properties of an inner product, namely, so what are the properties that you want of an inner product? You want symmetry, right, inner product x y should be equal to inner product y x, right. So, that is clearly true, covariance x y and covariance y x are equal, right, by definition they are equal, right. And then what do you want? You want bilinearity, right, bilinearity is if you have inner product a x plus b y inner product with z, you want to become linear, which is also true for covariance, right. And then finally you want, so and then you want, so then you can prove Cauchy-Schwarz holds, right, Cauchy-Schwarz obviously holds. There is one little thing that remains, you want inner product x with itself is always greater than or equal to 0, correct, and equality holds only if x is equal to 0, that is a property of inner product, that is one of the defining properties of an inner product, correct. So, what is if I claim that covariance of x y is in fact behaving like an inner product, I want to establish that covariance of x comma x is greater than or equal to 0, correct. So, what is covariance of x comma x? Yeah, covariance of x comma x is simply the variance of x, is not it. So, that is greater than or equal to 0, no problem. But if the variance equal to 0, you have to show that x is equal to 0, is that true? X is equal to, so well x is equal to, you cannot say that x is equal to 0, you can say that x is equal to constant, but even x is equal to constant you can only say for almost surely, right. So, there is a little bit of a problem here. So, for one thing you can do is you can just consider 0 mean random variables, right, just consider the, you can think of this x and y's are all 0 mean random variables. If you have non-zero mean, you just subtract it off, right, if it is a finite mean, as long as it is finite you just subtract it off. So, you work with only 0 mean random variables, then this problem kind of goes away, right. If you say that covariance of x comma x is equal to 0, that means x is equal to now 0 almost surely, because these are all 0 mean random variables. But again you have to have this problem, it is not really 0 random variable, it could be non-zero in some set of probability measure 0, right. So, ultimately you have to consider the equivalence class of random variables which are which agree on agree everywhere except perhaps on a 0 measure set, right. If you are willing to consider that equivalence class as the 0 random variable, right, if the set of all random variables are equal to 0 almost surely, as if you identify that as the 0 random variable, the equivalence class of 0 random variables, then you have a, then everything is fine, right, except for this little adjustment, then this is fine, right. Then you will in fact have that covariance of x y plays the role of a inner product in the space of 0 mean random variables, correct, and these guys are like norms, right, and then you have Cauchy-Schwarz inequality holding, and what is so what would you identify rho x y as? So what is inner product x y, is it the cosine or cosine square, the cosine of the angle between the two vectors, right, right. So this is like the so rho x y will be like the cosine of the angle between these two random variables. You can think of this as, so x and y are, you can think of them as some vectors although they are random variables. So this rho x y has the interpretation of cos theta in some loose sense, right. So this can be made more precise, everything I have said can be made more precise. So if you consider the class of random variables with 0 mean, and if you are willing to identify this almost surely constant random variables as simply 0, then you can prove that these 0 mean random variables with of course finite, all this well defined, right, for example variance should be finite and so on, right. Whenever variance is finite, this forms a Hilbert space. Have you heard of a Hilbert space? So a Hilbert space is basically a complete space with a endowed with a inner product. It's an, I told you it's endowed with an inner product, and it's also a complete space because it has, I mean the values, these x and y take values in a complete space, right, and they are in particular they take values in R in our case, right. So you can prove that these finite second moment random variables with identifying this equivalence class to 0, right, form a Hilbert space, okay. It is called L2 random variables, okay. They have finite second moment, and in this L2 space which is a Hilbert space, this rho x y plays the role of cos theta, okay, and cos theta equal to 0 means x and y are orthogonal, right. So uncorrelated random variables are like your orthogonal vectors, okay. So this interpretation is quite useful in many areas, I mean in particular in estimation theory this interpretation is very important, okay. So I didn't make this very rigorous, but I just spoke it out, but I hope you are roughly with me on this, okay. This can be made much more rigorous, okay. Are there any questions? So you can remember, so what the take home is that there is this finite mean random, finite second moment random variables, these well defined, they lie in the space called L2 which is a Hilbert space, okay, and you can define inner product, cosine, all that is you can do, okay. Okay, I will stop here.